For the people at home who are maybe struggling right now, listening to this, and I'm sure they're feeling pretty inspired right now. But what's one bit of advice you would have for someone at home who feels like their life is over, feel like giving up, feel like life's unfair? What would your advice be to them?
I think oh, in those times when I've had a really low point, and admittedly, I've never been at the point where I've wanted to give up or think that life is over, but there have been moments in time where I have felt very low and
Mm.
things weren't going quite so well. It's reaching out to the people who care about me the most and connecting with them and going back to the people that motivate you, who want to see you get better or who want to help pull you through that. And it's not a case of unloading on them necessarily. Talk to them, but then be buoyed by what they can offer you, and if they are offering to help, for goodness sake, accept that help. I think that's one of the biggest things that Paul and I have learned. We had this mindset when we first got together, and it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but for a long time we thought that the gold standard of living with a disability was to be 100% independent and to do everything ourselves, and that
Mm.
we would have somehow maybe failed if we couldn't do it all. So we tried really hard to do everything on our own and run a household entirely by ourselves and never really asked for significant help until we were forced to. Paul had a catastrophic shoulder injury a couple of years ago, and there was actually no way that we could manage. We were housebound. We couldn't leave the house. Paul couldn't help me because he himself needed help and I couldn't help him. That we were really stuck. And
Mm.
so we were forced to ask for help, but that was almost a turning point in our lives because we realized that nothing bad actually comes from asking for help. Our tribe grew. We met all these wonderful people who were more than happy to come into our home and get us as independent as possible again without necessarily caring for us. It was just an extra set of hands. And the relationship that we formed with them transcends the fact that they were initially part of our lives for providing assistance. They're now our mates. And there's this level of comfort now where if something turns to custard, we can pick up the phone and say, hey, really struggling here. Would you mind helping us out?
Mm.
Perfect example. Paul ended up in hospital beginning of this year with a back injury that needed some fairly urgent medical attention. And it happened quickly. It caught us off guard, and I didn't have any support mechanisms in place. And just for the first few nights, I just needed somebody to help me undo my work pants so that I could get undressed, have a shower, get into my pajamas, and be okay until a support worker arrived in the morning. And I've got two lovely guys who live next door to me who are very good friends of ours. Any chance you could help me undo my pants once in the evening? It's like, sure, no dramas at all. But it's just having that comfort with the people around us, just to say, I'm stuck, I really need help, knowing now that we've got a whole list of people that we can call on in those situations. So I think the biggest thing for me is just knowing when to ask for help and reaching out to those people that care most about us.